the delicate sound of Steve Legion vaping, I should say. Welcome everybody to the Amigos and Co. I have my fellow co-host here, Mr. Legion Vapes, doing the little stealth. Was that a pod? That was a mesh. That was mesh, right?
That was mesh. That was the little Valerian pod system.
Oh, you cheeky! Nice, very nice.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Bit of a juice fingerprint magnet though.
Awesome. Happy Monday / Tuesday, everybody. We're very, very grateful for you tuning in. It's just the two of us today, but there's a little foreshadowing there. Vandal is MIA. Well, he's actually not MIA. We know where he is, but I wanted to say MIA because last week I did... I'm just going to jump straight into it, Steve. Last week I did say about this mug. This is a Breeze Tones mug. I had a couple made. A very generous gift from a family member. I have this one. This one will be shipped to you used. No, I'm joking. I'm just showing this one. It won't be used. But I'd like to give one. I'd like to give one of you beautiful people a mug. So here is the competition. The competition is you have to. I'm not bald, tickets. Just shaved my head. The competition is you have to slide in my DMs on Instagram and give me the reason why Vandal is not here. If anyone has watched Vandal's stories when he likes to let his hair down, he gets pretty rowdy. So I want you to come up with the funniest story of why Vandal is not here for the Amigos and Co stream this week. So I'm going to give it a little bit of a time frame, maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks. Slide into my DMs and just tell me the reason why Vandal wasn't here for this stream. I'm sure he'll be horribly offended, but also very elated all in the same situation. You can come up with your wildest story of why Vandal is not here, and I'll choose the winner, and I'll ship you a mug. How about that?
When you announce the winner, you're going to have to read out the top 3 in reverse order on the show.
Yeah.
We want to know.
Yep. Mm-hmm. That's right. So that's how you can win yourself a little Breeze Tones mug. This is a very nice little mug with my logo on it. So yeah.
For the rest of you who might want a Breeze Tones mug, a Sharpie, printer, stencil, just make your own.
Yep.
Make your own.
Yeah. Definitely.
It's just as good.
Definitely spell it wrong.
Cheese bones.
Yep. Oh, there we go. Jangles is already into it. He probably got his nuts stuck in one of the holes of his pool. I'm not sure that was stuck, as you say. That could be.
So just to be clear, the only official entries you have to slide into your DMs. They have to go to you via Instagram.
Via Instagram, that's right. I will get them. Just tell me what it is, obviously. Don't, send me random messages about funny stories and I'm like, well, okay, is this happening to you or what's going on? No, this is for the competition to win the Breeze Tones mug. Why is Vandal not here for this stream? Tell me your funniest story.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's it. That's the competition. I will replay that at the end of the stream for those people who come in late, but... That's anywhere in the world. I'll ship that anywhere, as far as I can possibly manage, even though the postal system is...
Stand on his back veranda and he'll just...
Yeah.
In your general direction.
That's right. Yeah, it does come in a box. It will come in a box and bubble wrapped. I won't just put it straight into into a bag.
You imagine that and you just open it up. It's like, why did I get a box of pottery shards? What am I, an archaeologist?
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, and I think the mug says ease tones. Yeah, nice. Awesome.
I have to tell you right now, I think M wins, which will save you some shipping costs.
He's completing his gender reassignment. Yeah. I'm not sure.
He's finally becoming a man.
Yeah. Oh dear. Awesome. Mr. Legion, would you like to tell everyone what you're vaping on today?
I have been so busy this past couple of days. So lazy. Combine that with the fact that nothing really exciting has come in over the last week or so. I am vaping the most lazy setups. I have to apologize. There's not a Breeze Tone amongst them.
Oh,
which is rare. It's rare and unusual. They're here waiting to go. They're just not in this.
Mm-hmm.
I have the Hellbeast and the Odin combo, as I usually do. I have a red tip on the tip just in honor of my good friend Squidly because he loves the red tips. And in there, I've got some Doozy Vapes, Berry Pie. This is exciting. This came in the last week. I got a whole bunch of Doozy Vapes. And I chose this one because I thought I wouldn't like it. I thought, okay, I would like that the least. Let's give that a go. And it's a berry crumble pastry pie, a little bit of cream and cinnamon in there. Very little cinnamon. It's not strong on that. But it literally, my eyes rolled back. I was astounded by how rich and full it was. And normally, like a berry, that sticky berry pie filling, not really that appealing to me. But this just really worked. Really nice. And you can tell. I mean, I'm down to there.
Is that a Australian
for like 3 days?
Australian manufacturer?
This is a UK e-liquid.
Nice.
But it is distributed in Australia by Flavor Hype.
Okay.
Who were very generous and sent this on to me. The other thing that I'm vaping, of course, you already seen the Valerian little pod system. I have to give a shout out to Oz e-liquids. They sent this to me, and they sent me something else, which I'll mention in a minute. But they contacted me. They sent this out as a little gift, which I'll end up reviewing because why not? It's a nice little pod system. Not what I expected from UL. I didn't look into this. I didn't do any research before it ended up in my lap. And I thought UL would probably have gone for that sort of 3 clicks and you shift from like medium, high, that sort of thing. Some sort of adjustability. But this is about as straightforward as you can get. It's a pod, it's a button, it charges, you hit the button and you vape. There's no adjustment, no screen, no multiple wattages. And I kind of like that.
Can you draw activate?
No. I can test that.
Interesting.
It does have a adjustable airflow on the side of the thing. Pod thing. Yeah, let's get back to the right spot. It doesn't have a removable drip tip. It's all in one. Just plugs in like that, and you vape.
Nice. I saw Mr. Cully put up his review of it today, and I didn't get time to watch it. I am interested in that device because it kind of came out of nowhere for me. So I was like, Yeah,
it's not bad. It's a little airier, a little lighter. Like if you want something very intense and sometimes you get a vape that's just thick and fat and dense. You're not really going to get that out of this. It's a little lighter and airier, but it's still quite nice and very flavorful. Of course, UL, Valerian, their coils have always been top notch, which is really good because in this one, I've actually been using this in about 3 things over the last week. Again, Doozy Vapes, cover my face, liquid gold, if you can read that. And liquid gold, and it's UK. I thought it would be golden syrup. Right off the top of my head, it's like liquid gold, made in England. That's golden syrup. Let's give that a try. And I vaped it, went, that's not golden syrup. What is that? That's like whipped cream and custard.
Oh.
And whipped cream and more custard. And that's, what does it say on the side? It says pastry with custard topped with extra thick cream. Not getting a whole lot of pastry in there, but yeah, just custard and thick whipped cream. Really, really nice.
Yeah.
One of the nicest custards I've had this year, actually. Really, really good.
Nice. That's a big call.
I like custards. I love custards.
Yeah.
I love real custard. I have it, regularly. But definitely one of the nicest this year. So we're definitely enjoying that. And again, about halfway through that bottle. So I started it and then I had to slow down and vape other things because I knew the bottle would just be gone before I knew it. And another thing that's really, really nice, the last on my list, just pulled this out just for ease and simplicity. A nice little pocket banger. The Gen Nano, the matching tank in bright shiny purple. And it has the main reason Oz e-liquid got in touch with me. They sent me a bottle of this.
Oh, yes.
The Goose Hunt, which is, and I've said this on every stream since last week, the Goose Hunt is made by Frank and Atticus and Limitless Vape Co. It is distributed by Oz e-liquid, and it is made to 100% fund legalized vaping Australia. So 100% of the funds, 100% of what they get from this goes directly to the fight for advocacy in this country, which is an awesome thing. Frank and Atticus always make great e-liquids, great flavors, great blends. So to see that sort of quality and combination aiding is just an awesome thing. It just benefits everyone. In fact, so much so that they offered to send this out to me. But if you see over there, I had already bought 4 bottles. So I'm well stocked for this. So if you are in Australia, I highly recommend grab a couple of bottles. Now, we were talking before the show about this, and here's my call on this, and I think Adam's in the same spot with this. Frank and Atticus make great e-liquids, but to make a great blend really stand out, it takes a little bit of time, and I do believe these were put together, bottled, and shipped quite fast. So do what I'm doing. Buy 4 bottles, put them on the shelf, let them sit for 3 months. Because the longer they sit there, the more they steep, and that it's a good flavor. But I think that 3-4 months is just going to really make that flavor pop. That's just my take on it. And if you're curious, it's a caramel sugar cookie. I didn't mention that. Yeah, caramel sugar cookie, which is right up my alley. Anyway, as far as what I'm vaping, that's it. What about you, my friend? What do you got on your desk?
I've got too many. This is messing with my brain because I normally have. Well, I went from like I want everything set up to like I want 2, and then so I've got a few too many setups going on at the moment. We'll start off with this one. Is the K-Fun 2019 Light Odin Mini banging little device with actually have a little Breeze Tones theme going on. I've set up all my DNAs with a Breeze Tones theme because they're kind of second as build stations, I guess, just to check all the coils and whatnot. But that's always fun diving into Evolve and making a mess of things. So I've got that. That has PB Party, Mr. Deep Cuts, Eric Vinyl and Vapor, one of my favorite MTL liquids out there. I also have a Blotto on the Steve Legion edition Aegis X, but I have the Blotto in a single coil. I'd never done that. I've had a Blotto for what? How long have they been out? Be close to a year now, right? And I have never put it in single coil configuration. So I put a 3.5 ID 26 36 in there, and it's vaping outstanding. It's surprising how much airflow actually gets cut when you put dual in there, and I've only ever basically vaped dual in there. I mean, it was the whole reason why the 27s were part of the menu, is because they were specifically kind of designed for the Blotto. But I'm vaping it in single coil. It's very, very delicious. That has in there Mr. Paul Labworks, Event Horizon, who happens to be in chat. Very, very awesome. And I always say that the Blotto does things to e-liquids that not many addies do. So it's interesting how that's changed quite a bit. I also have, I actually have the Goose Hunt in this. Obviously, my Palmer's Powders edition Vert Unicorn, but this is a bit of, let's call it fuckery, should we say? And please excuse my wicks.
Exciting.
Well, that's the Passage deck. Given those wicks a couple of days, ignore that. But I pulled the coils up a little bit because I discovered that the Dead Goat cap fits perfectly. So with that super smooth airflow, working with the Passage, it's kind of like a match made in heaven. Mr. Grim Green and Matt Cully, 2 of my very favorite vape people, coming together in, they don't even know about it.
So could we call that specific combo the goat's back end?
The suck my back end. That's right. The suck my dead back end. But that's vaping like a champion. So there's a little bit of toot science going on there. Really, really good.
Wait, hold on one second. Is that the goat or the dead goat?
It's the Dead Goat cap. I guess that's the Dead Goat, right? That was called it, because I've been confusing this for ages because I don't vape this very much anymore. That's the Dead Goat, the AFC cap for the rebuildable RBA section that you get with the goat, the Dead Goat. I
wonder if the regular cap fits.
It does. But the airflow is very, very low, so you could still put it into the Passage if you went under the blocks. But there's, so it'd work great, but the airflow would be very different, obviously, with that what do you call it, the Cyclops style
Interesting to try.
AFC. Yeah. It fits perfectly. I just haven't put any coils in and given it a run. So there's that. I also have another K-Fun 2019 on Vaporesso Swag 2, which is just my pod killer. That has in there actually, can't remember. It's got some e-liquid in there. That's it's got e-liquid in there. But I've also been running the ether on mech style. I have an 18650 in there and given a little bit, and this is vaping out of control. This has actually Frankenatticus, the caramel glazed donut, which I put up to MTL situation, and this is out of control.
Now I gotta ask you, Frankenatticus, caramel glazed donut, you've been vaping that for the past month and a half. Is that the same bottle, or have you re-upped?
No, this is the same bottle. No, this is a new bottle. This is a new bottle. Yeah. It's always that thing. I mean, MTL 50/50s, or because so many people vape MTL, at 70/30 or whatever, and I guess depending on whether they're adding nicotine or not is going to change those ratios to, either drop them, increase the PG, I guess. So there's a lot of MTL stuff that works a treat. Like my K-Funs basically have, unless they've got deep cuts in there, they've basically got a 70/30 or somewhere near that that's been nicked, and added a little bit of PG. All vaping really well, particularly from the, I guess the capillary action of what's going on. The ether is a funny addy, and we've been discussing this a lot in the Stooge Discord. I think it's an extremely versatile addy, and at first I thought that a 70/30 or liquid was starting to choke the wicks a little bit, but that was just user error on my part, putting too much cotton in there. But it's vaping a treat. I mean, outstanding crackles.
Yeah.
So it's little 18650 mech MTL situation.
Nice.
Is that everything? That's everything. So I've got 6 devices on my table that I'm currently tooting from. So yeah, that's it. Don't be shy to tell us what you're vaping and put it in the chat if you do feel so compelled. We always like to know what people are vaping. Awesome.
Moving on.
Yeah, moving on. We did talk about the Frankenatticus situation. Please go buy yourself a bottle of this. You will not regret it, but you'll also be helping advocacy, and we could use every dollar that we get.
Yes.
Speaking of advocacy, the rally. The rally was on yesterday, I believe. Is that right?
Yesterday morning for us.
Yeah. Yep, yesterday morning. I'm sure everyone saw a bit of the footage and what was going on. Incredibly hard time to be having a rally, but very proud of the people that went out and did the thing. So
massive respect to everyone who made it.
Yeah.
And I hope you all stayed safe, washed your hands, and thoroughly sanitized afterwards.
Like Steve was saying, we were discussing in the pre-show that PMTA Eve is tomorrow in the US. So that combined with the rally, I'm sure plenty of people have got lots of opinions about what's going on. Probably best not to discuss too much about that at the moment, because things will be coming in, and it's
as I said before, and we're at that point. It's there's nothing to do now, nothing to talk about, nothing to really work through until we can see how this plays out over the next week. I mean, then we'll be able to see where the lay of the land is afterwards. We just have no idea what's going to happen in the next couple of days.
Though there is obviously the posts that the UVA has been putting up surrounding the rally on Instagram. That phone number that will not close down. So please do your part and do the phone calls, harass the people that need to be harassed, and do that. So that won't stop. But it'll be an interesting situation in the next few days, and absolutely, yeah. But also, on that same vein, we got an email this morning talking about the premiere of You Don't Know Nicotine is happening.
Yes, very excited.
Yeah, Steve was nice enough to tell me the details of that because I couldn't read my email. September the 26th in Milwaukee. That's going out. Tickets are available now, I believe, through probably the Facebook group, and I probably got that completely wrong. But a date has been set that couldn't come fast enough.
Let's see.
Very, very exciting. I wish Aaron and the team all the best for that whole situation, and that it gets as much exposure as possible. So I'm sure there will be a bit of a social media push. So hopefully some things will come out about that soon, and I certainly will be reposting as much as I possibly can. So yeah.
Once that premiere date is come and gone, then we'll start to see showings like right across the world.
Yep.
Hopefully just popping up in different cities and different countries and all the places where it literally needs to be. So if you are able to host, I know that's a big call, but if someone out there is able to host a screening, get in touch with Aaron. He's a great guy. He's really, really friendly, really, really open, but they're desperate to get that movie in front of people's faces. So small towns, big towns, wherever you can. If you can host a screening, or if you think you know someone who can, get them in touch with Aaron, because they're definitely looking for a little bit of help in that sense.
I'm kind of surprised that we haven't seen anything about virtual screening. Has that even been part of discussion at the present moment?
Not yet. I know the same reason why they were holding off on other stuff. They need to do the premiere first. And I think they probably want to move into the theater presentations as much as they can. Although things have changed since they actually filmed it.
Yeah.
But then they'll move into that sort of thing. But it's one of those things, like if you just put it up on YouTube or Vimeo, it just disappears. There's no hype. There's no presence to it. There's no promotional push behind that. It just disappears.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I was just thinking of current work situation for many people. Whether it be Zoom or a hosting situation. I mean, it'd be a bit of legwork, but it'd be possible to set up that. Because I'm sure many people would take part of that if they paid a small fee or had a virtual screening, or it wouldn't be that hard to host, so to speak. So, yeah. I'm sure there's a reason why that's not been happening, but absolutely, you're right. Getting ripped and then put out all over the place with little to no effect will be not a good thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember. I can't remember what my level of support when it was first doing the fundraising. I can't remember what mine came with. I got the coffee mug, which got broke.
Ah.
Yeah. Just the handle. I could actually. Well, that's a thought. I should trim that down and turn it into a pot plant.
Yeah.
Plant pot. Grow something in it. You know what I'm saying.
Yep.
Yeah, because I've got an old version of my mug with no handle, and I've got that one, so it'd make a nice little set.
Very nice.
Yeah, what I was saying is I can't remember if my level came with a digital download or preview or not. Don't remember that.
Yep.
But yeah, looking forward to seeing it one way or another.
Yeah, absolutely. We need it. We need it more than ever. Yes. It's there's that. What else do we have going on, Steve? I think that was everything on my list.
It's we were saying this before. It's stuttering here. It's been a weird couple of months. Not just the whole COVID and the staying at home, but in terms of news and in our particular section of society, the news has been a whole lot of nothing. A lot of, the newspapers are reporting the same shit we've seen before. And another study has come out saying the same lies we've seen before. And, oh, look, tiny little town in Bohunk somewhere has done another flavor ban. It's a lot of very quiet, small stuff. There's nothing massively shaking up the landscape, except for what's going to happen in 2 days, which, again, is one of those things where that was news a year and a half ago, and now we're just slowly working our way towards it. It's nothing massive. So it's kind of hard to do advocacy shows and try and pull apart the news when there's nothing big to get your teeth into,
Yeah.
I mean, I spend another 2 hours complaining about Stanton Glantz. We could tear apart the life of Greg Hunt and look into his history, but that
No,
gets a bit boring.
those dudes don't need any more airtime. There's no doubt.
No.
No. But governments and ulterior motives and agenda. I watched a series on Netflix recently. I think it came out in June or July. I don't know why I hadn't seen it on Netflix, but it was called The Business of Drugs, hosted by a person called Amaryllis Fox. She was an ex-CIA analyst. And it's a short series. There's like 7 or 8 episodes. Each episode is on a different, I guess, category 1 drug: heroin, opium, marijuana, synthetic drugs, and the like. And it was very, very interesting. Well, there's a lot of things, obviously, like when you're in those worlds and whatnot. I guess the people and the manufacture and the distribution and where they come from. It was an incredibly informative series, and I'm sure, like, many pieces, being whether it's cherry picking or a certain narrative of what's going on with the show. There was an awful lot of stuff that I had no idea about, and very, very interesting to see. So that gets the double thumbs up from me as a Netflix viewing. If you want to watch something, you could literally bomb the entire series in a couple of hours. Very, very, very good. Yeah.
Did you walk away from it feeling empowered and enlightened, or just disappointed and depressed at humanity?
A bit of both, and I think that the disappointment was more finger pointing at the governments of the world and how they go about laws and legislation and the authority of what they think that they're going to achieve by setting up certain laws and whatnot is not what the bigger picture is going to do. And like in particular with the marijuana one, it was very based around US situation, obviously. Mm-hmm. Bringing into account Canada and its medical and rec situation and the money that's generated from that versus California, which is the biggest market ever by a lot, by like times 10 almost. So, and that was saying how much of that is still illegal trade. Not taxes paid on it and that whole situation, but how when they implement an industry like the cannabis industry into, I guess, laws and regulation, there are like one particular town was a town in North California that was, basically a ghost town. It used to be a manufacturing hub, and there were literally like, kilometers of empty warehouses that the cannabis industry when it got I guess voted in going in and like putting all of this money from the industry into these areas and rebuilding these towns. And I'm sure everybody knows the financial situation of California borrowing against its tobacco bonds, but how these towns and municipalities, I guess you'd call it that, were now like doing extremely well because they'd created jobs and they'd created life out of something that was basically a ghost town. And now like rental and all of these things were going through the roof, and it made perfect sense. But in the same vein, like so much legal red tape, and that's what they were talking about. If you want to get into the industry, local government takes their money, then state government takes their money, and then it was all of these things that are trying to, I guess, take away from an industry expanding, and that's what they were saying was more so that if you want to get into the industry, the amount of money required versus like I want to open up a convenience store versus I want to get into something that's taxed through the yin yang. It was just really, really interesting, and what it's done to communities, towns, state, like really, really interesting. And I'm sure, as I've said, it was a cherry picking, probably, it was cherry picking information potentially, and I'm sure that there would be very, very different sides to the story, particularly from industry people, but really, really compelling viewing, worth watching. Yeah.
I know a lot of people, and one of my biggest fears for our fight is that I know a lot of people in Canada that were in the fight for marijuana legalization over the years. And when they finally started flipping to the other side, they didn't get what they expected. You had hobbyist growers, you had yeah, Canadian cartel, for want of a better word. You had all this stuff going on, and they thought, okay, well, we'll legalize it, and then it'll be good. You know, we'll step forward, we'll step out of the shadows, and we'll have dispensaries where we can ship our product, and they can share it with the people, and it'll be awesome. And what actually happened was a lot of the people that had been behind the fight and behind the industry for decades were just wiped away. They were not able to license themselves. They weren't able to. I mean, here's the thing: you have to be legally squeaky clean to get a license.
Yeah.
So if you've got any sort of convictions or anything, you can't be in the new legal industry. Even if your convictions are possession and growing of the stuff that you're going to get a license for. So if you've got, trafficking or possession convictions 5 years ago for weed, now you can't get a license to grow weed.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is a,
Yeah. That was exactly all the other things I completely forgotten about. They were talking about that, and they were using the auto industry as an example. Like X amount of years ago, there were 50 car companies all over the US, and then in a very short period of time, it was now the big three, and many industries follow that situation where they just get swallowed. All these little startups get swallowed up by the big companies, and then you end up with the three, and they were talking about that big companies were walking in trying to be the next Coca-Cola of medical marijuana, because they've got the money to bankroll it.
you know that if you go to the grocery store and there's like bottled coffee in the coolers, there's all the soft drinks, there's bottled water, there's kombucha, there's all sorts of beverages all over the place, right? And they've all got a different name, a different label, sometimes side by side, these different seltzer waters and all this stuff. And there's two companies.
Yeah.
In Australia, there are two companies. Everything else falls underneath that umbrella somewhere. And if you pick up any single bottle of beverage, it's a good chance you can trace that all the way back up. Bottled milk with flavoring, orange, banana flavoring.
Yeah.
It's Coke.
Yeah.
It's Coke. Just Coke.
Yeah.
Or it's Pepsi. One or the other.
Or sparkling water provided by Coke.
Yeah. it's insane how many layers and how much that illusion of choice blinds us to that. Like you go, same thing. You go to Kohl's again, go to the toothpaste aisle. How many options of toothpaste do you have all there, right? All these different flavors, different kinds. I mean, if you track back, there's just a handful of companies behind all of them. Same with that shampoo aisle, all those different brands of shampoo, and they all trickle back to a couple of companies. So we think we have this illusion of many, many choices, but really most of the things in our life, it's one evil or another.
Yeah, that's it. Paul was saying Nestle is evil, indeed. Indeed.
Yes.
Yeah. Awesome.
Anyway, aside from all of that, politics, doom and gloom, the world is going to hell in a handbasket. How's life been for you? How was your Father's Day?
Well, my Father's Day was great. I had a special meal made to me by my wife and child. We've been eating fairly clean for the last few months, trying to get our health back on track, and everything was awesome. And then Sunday morning, we had bacon and eggs, hash browns, and then followed up with ice cream and caramel sauce. So we spent the rest of the Sunday recovering from that dairy onslaught. But Father's Day is a really good thing. Yeah, really, really nice, man. And yourself, you're a dad too, dude.
I am indeed, and I had the best possible outcome. I live in a house with stepkids. They went to visit their dad, and I got a quiet, peaceful day.
Oh,
Me and the wife just hanging out.
yeah, right.
And I took it pretty easy.
Merry Christmas.
Of course, I had a show that night, but the rest of the day was just calm, quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing huge on that side.
You should have Aaron on the show.
I should. I should indeed.
Yeah. Have to get your people to call his people.
I'll do that. I'll get on that.
Awesome.
Speaking of on the show, that's a bit of not really vape related, but a bit of interesting news. Something I've been rolling around for the last few months in my head. Just, do I want to do this? Am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? Should I do this? And I've decided to do this. So I will be starting. I know I do a lot of streams, do a lot of shows. I'll be starting yet another channel with more content because I'm not busy enough. I'm not busy enough doing the stuff I do. I need more things. So there will be another channel coming that will be content creation, reviews, advice, industry stuff.
Nice.
Side of things.
Yeah.
And it's not I know how to make films, so you should listen to everything I'm doing. It's more of a like, okay, I've gotten this far. I don't know everything. Come join me as I go with the next few steps, that kind of thing.
Awesome.
But as I just realized that, as I'm gradually growing my own channel, bits and pieces that come in. As I mentioned to you, I've got a couple lenses coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Well, why not review the lenses? Well, that doesn't really fit into the vape channel, so a place to do that. I'll just, as I get bits and pieces of gear in, as I learn things, little tips and pieces. I mean, Photoshop, thumbnail stuff, editing stuff, all that sort of things.
Yeah.
So that's coming up probably in the next week or two, because the channel's already there. It's already there. But yeah, it'll come out in the next couple of weeks, and it won't be as intense as my channel. I'm not doing 5 reviews and 3 live streams a week on that channel as well. That would be insane.
Yeah.
But it'll start off light.
That's exciting news, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm not just I know sometimes people have fears. I'm not going to slow down or step back. I'm not going to let it affect my channel, my current channel negatively. But yeah, it's going to take some time to build it. But the nice thing about it is that it kind of is an opportunity to make a few bucks, because the vape industry, not so monetizable.
Yeah. I was actually, you're making me think, we're coming to this time of the year, like how do vape products normally come out at this time of the year, and what does that mean for you, I guess, as far as your content is concerned?
This time of year is usually not so bad. Like as the year cycles around, normally this would be between shows. We don't have any big trade shows or anything, so it's kind of a bit of a slowdown. But on the other hand, things usually trickle through at a regular pace. This year's a bit weird.
Yeah,
it's just none of my previous experience of watching, how things, when busy periods are and all that stuff. It just
hasn't happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just all over the place.
Would there typically be an influx of products before Christmas time, like at this time, or is how generally that September, October might be the dead bit, and then by November it's all happening? Is that?
Yeah, November is kind of a big push, and then just it's weird. You get a little bit of a push again just before Christmas,
mm-hmm.
and then it does seem to slow down. Like because the Christmas New Year's market's not big for us, so they don't push things. Because you want it out before Christmas. So
yeah.
After Christmas, nothing new is going to come out, or not much for us. And then we Chinese New Year.
Mm-hmm.
So those two slam right into each other back to back. And you always hear like reviewers talking about, Chinese New Year, they're going to shut down, so nothing's coming through. And this year that just got really long. But nobody ever really mentions that it's not Chinese New Year. It's Christmas, New Year's Eve, and then Chinese New Year. There's a little bump after New Year's Eve, like our New Year's Eve, where we can get a few things. But yeah, from Christmas on, nothing much happens for a while.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well,
And then
okay.
you're scrambling for, oh, what did I forget last year? What should I order to review so I have something to share with people?
Or the typical best of 2020.
Yeah, retro review.
Speaking of retro reviews, you got the Blotto Mini, didn't you?
I did.
And have you been vaping that much? A lot?
No.
Oh,
It's good.
yeah.
It's good. Do you see how many things are on my shelf?
Yeah. No, I was just
I can't
asking.
vape everything all the time. I like it. It's a little bit more restrictive than I personally prefer. I like as we said, it does weird things to e-liquid. I like what it does to flavors, but I prefer something that's just a bit airier
Yeah.
on an ongoing basis. So it's there in my top favorite devices, but it's not at the top of that list. So it sits there in a private place on the shelf, and I pull it out once a year. That's kind of where it's living.
Yeah. I did receive this not long before we went on. This is going to come up terrible on the screen, but Mr. Palmer's Powders has done my heavy hitter. Very excited.
Nice.
Yeah, that is what's the color called? It's Midnight Navy. No, Midnight something or other. He sent me a photo. Very excited. Can't wait. That's the only thing I have coming. Because obviously I'm not a reviewer, but yeah, very, very excited. Misty Midnight, that's the terms. Misty Midnight, it's coming in. Yeah. Overdrips, yeah, Blotto itself was tight. Yes, we've discussed a lot of that in Discord. Airflow, yeah.
You know, in any other industry, in any other hobby, the phrase "tight as fuck" would mean it was really good. Like, that's tight as fuck. It's like it's just tight. That would imply that it's great.
Yep.
And in our industry, it's like, yeah, I really have to suck really hard to get something out of that. It's a whole different sort of interpretation,
Yeah.
depending on how tight you like it.
That's right. Discussing a little bit of toot science, I did have a conversation with Sammy Nitro and Overdrip, and I think Frames was part of that as well. Mowgli, I think so. Yes, I think I am getting an RDA to match in that. It just depends whether timing works out. We were talking about toot science, and we were comparing the Ether to a KFun 2019, and I had mentioned, I don't know if I've said this on the show before, but I'm going to keep talking about it. I mentioned that I thought the Ether was not very economical on e-liquid. I was certainly filling my tanks more often than I was filling my KFun, and that sparked the discussion of, is that a thing? Tanks with certain airflow or certain setups, do they use e-liquid faster than others that may have a slightly different spec? And the conversation then turned to, let's set up a test. Even though the Ether and the KFun, similar decks but very different. There's lots of different things about them if you compare them side to side. I set up some protocols to test how to go about doing that. I did put a post on Instagram about I got the builds as close as I possibly could, and then I ended up measuring the cotton that was going into that, because the Ether requires slightly longer legs than the KFun. So there's I guess a few consistent, not being able to maintain consistency between the two addies, but getting them as close as possible, and then being able to at least have some definitive info on how different they are. If I went ahead with this test, does anyone want to see that? Is anyone interested in that? Hashtag Toot Science, because I'll put it up if that's what everybody wants, just to see, because my belief was that more airflow would effectively make you consume more e-liquid in the vaping, even if it was at the same wattage, and but the ports leading to your juice flow If they were bigger, then effectively you would, vaporize more e-liquid. That was my initial, what do you call it, hypothesis. That's what I thought. Yeah, hibiscus. So if anyone wants to see that, then I will gladly put the Sean Typhon, do it. Okay, overdrip. Yeah, slight variables, but Adam went above and beyond to make things as close as possible. Yeah, it wasn't that hard, and it was interesting to see even something as simple as a 2.5 ID coil. And getting wicks, I weighed the wicks, to start with. I got 2 as identical as possible, and then I put both of the wicks into the respective addies, and then weighed what was left after I'd trimmed. And there was a very small discrepancy between the 2 of them, but you could actually then see, the funny thing was with the K-Fun, 30% of the cotton was taken off to trim and fit into the juice flow, I guess you call it, into that situation. So it was something I never thought of. You don't think that you're going to take 30% off your wick once you get it to that right ID. So just a little bit of interesting stuff there. I like the detail of it, but that's an official X1 from Sean, the angry hippie, to do it. So perhaps I will do it.
And I'm sorry, it's not that I haven't been paying attention, but you showed your. You showed your heavy hitter.
Yes.
And it just started with things spinning in my head, ideas. So I finally, my birthday's coming up. I figured out what I want.
Yeah.
And I got to share screen with you so you can get this.
Yeah, do it.
Well, you've disabled screen sharing.
Me?
Yep.
Stand by. Hold please. How do I do that? How did I disable that? Does that mean I have to go into settings?
No, well.
Sorry, man.
Oh, well. There is if anyone out there is a camera guy, you can get what's called a cage. Locks around your camera, and it's got screws, and it's a metal thing, and it provides support and protection, and allows you to attach all sorts of stuff to your camera for filmmaking. And there is a very, very cool one made by a company called Small Rig, and it fits. Both my cameras are the same. They fit right onto my camera. They're solid metal. They've got ports and handles, and it's just, if you're a film geek, they're cool as hell, right?
Yeah.
And I was just, all of a sudden I imagined one of those in a flame red to black gradient. I was like, ooh, I could get that done.
Yeah.
I could get that done. I could get one of those and send it off to Palmer and say, here, make it pretty.
I think if it can be dismantled and it will handle the temperatures that he's going to put it onto, then...
It's solid metal, so basically he's just got to strip it and paint it.
An outstanding comment from the Great Wombatsky there. Cody is asking, where's Vandal and Great Wombatsky? He's out moonlighting his vapor swagons picking up blokes. Yep, absolutely. Vandal must be blacked out. So for those that have come late to chat, I am going to be adjudicating a competition to win one of these Breeze Tone mugs. The competition is, if you've seen Vandal's stories on Instagram, when he's letting his hair down, he gets pretty rowdy. So we want you to come up with the most ludicrous story of why Vandal is not here on the Amigos & Co. today. Send me the story in my DMs on Instagram. I'll give it a week or possibly 2, depending on how many entries. And like Steve said, I'll read out the top 3 funniest ludicrous stories of what you come up with, and I will award the winner. I will send them one of these limited edition Breeze Tones mug for the winner. So that's the competition. But
can I just state that in this contest, brevity is not your friend. Big stories, long, ridiculous stories. Make it a production. I want to hear you guys. I mean, I'm not judging, but I want to hear you guys just take it to the ridiculous extremes.
Yeah. So that's the competition. That's why Vandal is not here, because we don't know why he's not here, and you have to tell us why. Yeah. Interesting. But I'll give it a week or two. I will also get on to I don't even know what to call that test, the juice consumption test. Let's call it that, the e-liquid consumption test. The hypothesis is the bigger the juice flow ports, the more e-liquid will be consumed. That's my hypothesis. The good thing is I was able to get, I dial in the K-Fun and the ether in these two situations as very close to a draw as possible. Some more information to bore you with. I'm also able to set up my, a draw counter. So I've worked out that my draw on MTL, the seconds that it takes me to draw in vapor, is pretty much very consistent. I range between a 3 and a 4 second draw almost every time. But what I will do, I guess I'm drawing on some of the testing that we would do in coffee, is that I will set a buffer or set a parameter that I must hit every time. So the reality is that there'll be a plus and minus of seconds or points of seconds that so anything that will be outside of those won't be taken as part of the test, so to speak, and it will be very easy. I've kind of already done some preliminary testing. I know how long it takes me to how many toots, #toots, it takes me to drain a tank on either one of those, so I've already got some idea of there. But they will both start with the same amount of e-liquid, and they will both end with the same spot. So whichever one is the first one will then obviously help with that. Same wattage, same ohmage, pretty much the same amount of cotton, pretty very close to the same draw. So there's lots of stuff that we're going to take into account. So I'll get on to that and put the results up. Yeah.
Science.
Toot Science. #Toot Science. Pocket Science. Love it. Yeah. Awesome. All right. Mr. Legion, we're coming to that time.
I think we are. It's been about an hour or so.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's much else to talk. What's that white coffee you're drinking?
The white coffee.
Yeah, the one you just picked up.
This
Clear.
one? Yeah,
that's the worst coffee I've ever seen.
I've had to lay off. I've had a few coffees this morning and started to get the jitters. And I think also running an MTL in mech mode is helping with the stimulant. So I needed to calm down and ease my nerves a little. Yeah. Do you even vap, bro? Yeah. No. Coffee after lunchtime. I'll have a post-afternoon situation, and then, yeah. That's it.
Yeah, I'll have had another 6 by then.
Yeah, indeed. That's it. All right. Well, we want to thank you all for hanging out with us for a bit of blah blah this afternoon, this evening. Of course, we wish you all the loves for all your squishy bits in the world, and it will be an interesting next couple of weeks to see what's going on with vaping as an industry, particularly the US and also here in Australia with our fight and campaigns that are coming out. So hopefully we'll have a little bit more news about You Don't Know Nicotine as that draws closer as well. Mm-hmm. Keep your eyes out for that. Of course, you can see Mr. Legion on, basically every day on the YouTubes.
Pretty much.
And also on Sunday for the Aussie Vape Show with fellow vapors, All Day Vapes and Squidly Triz or Tridley Squiz, Friday Vape Club. Go show some love on the replay to Vaping with the Omies. Also, the Vape Stew, all the shows. Do it.
All the shows, all the people. Never turn your computer off. Watch everyone on YouTube. They're all awesome, except for that one guy. I don't like him.
No.
The rest of them, they're awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Mr. Dennis Michael, awesome. Thank you for coming into the last moment. Awesome.
It's one of those hi-bye.
Yeah. Hi and bye. We wish you an amazing week. We will see everybody on the social media world, and stay strong.